Have you ever noticed that the more you try to explain yourself, the more your words get tangled like a knotted rope in someone else's hands? The harder you raise the flag of truth or justice, the more you seem like a lost soul in a storm, while those who hurt you glide away untouched like a breeze slipping through clouds. But what if I whispered a secret to you that the moment you stop justifying, stop chasing, stop thrashing in their net, an invisible force rises to right justice in your place? Picture a snake biting its tail. The more it writhes, the deeper the wound bleeds. But when it lets go, nature quietly stitches the pain closed. Or think of an echo in the depths of a mountain forest. Whatever you send out, words or deeds, eventually comes back, inescapable. That's how karma works. The lies they sow, the knives they plunge, all return to knock on their soul's door when they least expect it. While they're busy setting traps, provoking, and manipulating, you stand at a crossroads, fall into the pit they've dug, or step back and let karma's unseen hands pen the story's final chapter. When you choose silence, like a lake unrippled in a storm, the weight of their actions crushes them instead, their energy turning the spear back on themselves. So, when do you let go? Letting karma speak the words you couldn't, do the things you don't need to. Stay with me, because the final strategy will flip the way you see life itself. Let's get started. If the stillness in your heart has cracked open a door for karma to work, like an echo quietly returning through a mountain forest, what happens when someone deliberately tosses a stone into your calm lake just to watch you flounder? Picture yourself moving through an ordinary day when a sharp voice slices through, a sarcastic jab, a taunting remark, like an arrow aimed at your peace. Instinct urges you to fire back, to counterattack, and defend your honor. But what if I told you that the moment you hold your tongue, stay your hand, you seize a power far greater than any fight? This is the first strategy to turn silence into a cold breeze that sweeps over your enemies. Don't react when they deliberately provoke you. It's not surrender, but a smoldering flame, burning bright within, leaving your foes powerless when they can't fan it into a blaze. Imagine you're the keeper of a lighthouse in a stormy night sea. Waves roar, yet you stand firm, your light unwavering. When others provoke you, they're not seeking peace. They crave conflict, hunger to see you lose control, feeding off your chaos. But when you refuse, when you hold your calm like a captain steering through a tempest, you strip away what they want most, control over your mind. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. They can throw stones, but you decide whether the lake ripples, and that very stillness leaves them rattled." Listen to the story of James. He worked with a colleague who constantly picked fights. In a meeting, the guy tossed out a jab in front of everyone. Guess James is all talk, no action. The room grew tense, eyes locked on James, waiting for a showdown. But James just gave a faint smile, nodded as if he hadn't heard, and kept presenting his ideas. The provocateur pushed harder, but with no reaction to feed on, he lost steam, leaving James standing tall like a mountain in the wind. A psychology today. Study notes that provocateurs often use conflict to mask their insecurities. When you don't engage, they're left exposed, along with their pettiness. So, how do you turn silence into a shield against provoking arrows? First, see their game. Each taunt is a trap, and you don't have to step in. Second, hold your stillness. Take a deep breath. Let indifference sweep away anger like clouds crossing the sky. Finally, remember, true strength lies in self-control. The loudest screamer doesn't win, but the one who refuses to be dragged down does. When you do this, you not only guard your peace, but send a chilling message: you can't touch me. Your enemies will feel it, not through roars, but through your untouchable calm. Are you ready to stand steady like a lighthouse amid the storm? When you've stood firm like a lighthouse through waves of provocation, your light unshaken by the storm, have you ever wondered what happens when those around you fail to see the fire you carry within? Picture pouring your heart out. Time, dedication, tireless steps. Yet instead of admiring glances, you're met with indifference, as if your precious gem lies forgotten under a veil of dust. Instinct pushes you to wave your arms, shout to prove your worth. But what if I told you that silence, a quiet withdrawal, is how you make them face the void you leave behind? This is the next strategy to turn stillness into a whirlwind that sweeps away apathy. Don't chase recognition when your value is overlooked. It's not weakness, but a radiant mirror, reflecting their loss when you're no longer there. Imagine you're a tree in a forest. No need to sway to prove your vitality, but when it's gone, the space feels chillingly empty. When someone overlooks your value, begging for their attention only dims your light. They don't cherish what's always there, only noticing when it's gone. Silence isn't abandoning yourself. It's giving them a chance to feel your absence, to wonder why the sky suddenly lacks a star. Seneca wrote, "Time discovers the truth." You don't need to shout to affirm your worth. Let your absence tell a story words could never reach. Listen to the story of William. He was always there, checking in on friends, helping colleagues without a hint of calculation. But he faced a painful truth. If he didn't reach out, no one bothered to. His devotion was just a given in their eyes. One day, William stopped trying. No goodbyes, no warnings. He quietly stepped back. 2 months later, a close friend texted, "I didn't realize how much you meant until you were gone." Others faded away, leaving him with those who truly valued him. A Guardian article once shared about an employee ignored by his boss. He quit without explanation, and only when he left did the company see that no one could replace him. So, how do you make silence a whirlwind that wakes the apathetic? First, stop justifying your worth. It doesn't fade just because someone can't see it, like gold still gleaming in the dark. Second, step back and observe. Those who deserve you will come forward, while others feel the void. Finally, let time do its work. Your absence speaks louder than any plea. When you do this, you not only protect your light, but send a silent, cutting message. My value doesn't need your approval. Your enemies will feel it, not through struggle, but through the emptiness you leave behind. Are you ready to walk away and let them face their own reflection? If silence has let you walk away, leaving a chilling void that forces the apathetic to turn and look, what happens when someone deliberately draws their bow, firing arrows of words to tear through the mirror of worth you've built? Picture this moment: a sarcasm sharp as a blade, a scornful glance, or a mocking jab ringing out in a crowd, all aimed at you like a toxic wind trying to snuff out the flame in your heart. Instinct urges you to raise a shield, strike back to defend your honor, but what if I told you that stillness, a gentle indifference, is what makes those arrows fall powerless to the ground? This is the next strategy to turn silence into an invisible sword. Don't react when someone insults you. It's not bowing down, but standing tall like a mountain, making your enemies feel small before you're calm. Imagine you're the deep ocean. Though winds howl across the surface, the depths remain an unshakable calm. When someone insults you, they're not after truth. They want to stir waves in you, to see you falter, gloating when they seize the reins of your emotions. But when you refuse, when you hold your serenity like someone standing on a hill gazing down at a storm, you turn their words into smoke that vanishes in the air. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike your enemy. Don't stoop to their mud. Self-mastery is a radiant flame, needing no roar, but bright enough to blind them." Listen to the story of Michael. At a company event, a jealous colleague mocked his success in front of everyone. "Guess they promoted you 'cause there was no one else left." The air grew taut as a bowstring, all eyes waiting for Michael's reaction. But he just smiled, met the guy's gaze with steady calm, and turned back to his conversation as if nothing had happened. The insulter fumbled, lost, his attack landing on empty air. A Harvard Business Review article once noted that staying composed in conflict not only protects you, but makes the aggressor look petty, losing face before the crowd. So, how do you make silence an invisible sword against insults? First, realize their words are a mirror of them, not you, like darkness can't dim a light. Second, embrace indifference. Let your breath carry away anger like a leaf drifting quietly on a river. Finally, stand firm with confidence. Your stillness is a sharper reply than any argument. When you do this, you not only preserve the flame in your heart, but send a silent, ironclad message. Your words hold no weight with me. Your enemies will feel it, not through confrontation, but through the steady strength you radiate. Are you ready to keep your ocean calm amid the storm? If calmness has turned you into a deep sea, where insults fall powerless like broken arrows before a mountain, what happens when the sharpest blade doesn't come from a distant enemy, but from the very person you once trusted completely? Picture a heart-wrenching moment. A close friend reveals a secret you kept sacred, or a loved one turns their back for their gain, like a cold wind blowing through, shattering the warm flame you once nurtured. Instinct drives you to confront them, demand answers, or at least make them understand the pain they've caused. But what if I told you that silence, a wordless departure, is the most powerful way to preserve your light? This is the next strategy to transform stillness into a lighthouse, guiding you through darkness. Don't argue when someone betrays your trust. It's not weakness, but a sword that cuts the ties binding you to someone unworthy. Imagine you are an ancient tree, roots deep in the ground, branches reaching high, but when the storm comes from someone you trusted, you don't roar to hold on. Instead, you quietly let the dead branches fall, preserving your vitality. When someone betrays you, they've chosen their path. Words can't rekindle a cold heart, and arguing only wounds you further. But when you walk away, when you remain silent like the night sky that needs no explanation for its faded stars, you reclaim control. Seneca once wrote, "A gem cannot shine without friction, nor can a person perfect without trials." Betrayal is a refining fire. It hurts, but it also forges you into a stronger version of yourself, one who knows who truly deserves to stay. Listen to Linda's story. She had a best friend for 10 years, someone she shared joys, sorrows, and her deepest secrets with. But one day, Linda discovered that this friend had spread her most private matters and even sabotaged her career opportunities out of jealousy. At first, she wanted to confront them, to shout to ease the anger burning inside, but then she chose silence. No accusations, no looking back. Linda walked away. The betrayer expected a fight, but all they got was emptiness, and that indifference unsettled them more than anything else. A study from the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology shows that silence following betrayal makes the betrayer confront a stronger sense of guilt than any accusation ever could. So, how do you silence your lighthouse through the darkness of betrayal? First, accept that they're not who you thought they were. Like a dry leaf fallen from a tree, let them go. Second, don't waste words explaining. They know what they did, even if they won't admit it. And finally, walk away with dignity. Your absence is a sharper answer than any argument. When you do this, you protect your light and send a silent yet chilling message. You no longer have the power to hurt me. The betrayer will feel it not through tears, but through the freedom you reclaim. Are you ready to let the dead branches fall and preserve your vitality? If silence has guided you through the darkness of betrayal like a lighthouse illuminating the path amid falling dead branches, what happens when someone casts a new net, not with a sharp blade, but with tears and fake lamentations? Picture this scene. They distort the truth, cry in front of others, playing the victim to hide their muddy footprints of wrongdoing. Instinct urges you to jump in, waving the banner of reason to expose them. But what if I told you that silence, a wordless retreat, is the way to make that net collapse under its weight? This is the next strategy to turn silence into a quiet wind that sweeps away the farce. Don't argue when they play the victim. It's not surrender, but a flame that burns through the lies, letting karma unveil the one behind the curtain. Imagine you are a mountain in the valley. Mist may shroud it, but it cannot shake what stands firm beneath. When someone plays the victim, they're not seeking truth or reconciliation. They crave attention, wanting to drag you into their drama, where every word you say only makes them shine brighter on stage. But when you refuse to step up, when you maintain your calmness like the sky indifferent to passing clouds, you let them stumble in their play. Epictetus once wrote, "Complaining is always futile and never appropriate." Don't waste your energy on someone who only wants an audience. Let time and their actions strip away the mask themselves. Listen to Mary's story. She worked with a colleague who was always quick to cry whenever given feedback. One time, after Mary pointed out a mistake in their work, this person turned to other co-workers, tears streaming. "I never thought Mary would treat me like this. I was just trying to help." Mary tried to explain present evidence, but the more she spoke, the worse she looked. Finally, she chose silence. No justification, no reaction, just focusing on her work. Over time, people began to see that the person was always the victim in every story. A BBC article once told of a public figure who faced similar false accusations. He stayed silent, and gradually the manipulator's repeated behavior exposed itself to the public. So, how do you make silence the wind that sweeps away the farce of someone playing the victim? First, don't argue. Every word you say is a thread they use to tie you into their play. Second, stay calm and detached, like a mountain indifferent to mist. Let them reveal themselves over time. And finally, trust in karma. Deceit can't stay hidden forever, and the truth will shine when they no longer have an audience. When you do this, you not only protect your peace, but also send a silent yet cutting message. Your game won't drag me down. They'll feel it, not through confrontation, but through their collapse. Are you ready to stand firm like a mountain amid the mist? If stillness has helped you stand firm like a mountain amid the mist of pretense, letting karma quietly sweep away the farce of those playing the victim, what happens when another toxic wind blows in, not with tears, but with lies woven to tarnish your light? Imagine a peaceful day suddenly disrupted. Rumors spread like weeds, fabricated stories painting a distorted version of you like darkness trying to eclipse the sun. Instinct urges you to rush out, waving the banner of truth to dispel the cloud. But what if I told you that silence, a wordless resolve, is the way to make your light shine brighter than ever? This is the next strategy to turn stillness into an eternal flame. Don't react when someone lies about you. It's not submission, but a lighthouse that illuminates, letting the truth shine through the darkness on its own. Imagine you are a flame burning in a field. The wind may roar, but it cannot extinguish the light you emit. When someone lies, they're not seeking truth. They want to unsettle you, to drag you into their game, where every defense you offer only makes their lies more vivid. But when you stand still, when you maintain your calmness like a deep river unperturbed by pebbles thrown in, you let the truth find its way to the surface on its own. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "If it's not right, don't do it. If it's not true, don't say it." Live by that standard. Don't waste energy on what's unworthy, for lies may spread fast. But truth is the steady wind that blows away all pretense. Listen to John's story. He was slandered at work. A jealous co-worker spread rumors that he was neglecting his job, causing others to distance themselves. At first, he planned to rush in, explain himself, and meet with everyone to clear his name. But then he chose silence. He continued working, maintaining professionalism, letting his actions speak for him. Just a few weeks later, the liar was exposed. Their history of deceit was uncovered in another mistake. A study from The Atlantic once pointed out that silence in the face of rumors undermines the liar's credibility as the truth gradually emerges, because they no longer have an opponent to argue with. So, how do you make silence the eternal flame against lies? First, trust in the long game. Like a flame that doesn't rush, the truth will blaze when the time is right. Second, focus on integrity. You know who you are, and those who believe the lies don't define you. And finally, let karma do its work. The liar will trip over the very net they've woven. When you do this, you protect your light and send a silent yet radiant message. My truth needs no defense. They'll feel it, not through shouts, but through the strength you exude. Are you ready for your flame to burn bright amid the toxic wind? If silence has ignited an eternal flame within you, letting truth blaze through lies like a lighthouse piercing the night, what happens when someone who once undervalued you turns back, facing the darkness they created in your absence? Imagine a day, after months of you giving without being appreciated, they realize the void you left, like a bird leaving its nest, leaving behind a quiet sky with no more wing beats. Instinct might urge you to return, explain your pain, or open a path for them to come back. But what if I told you that silence, a resolute refusal to turn back, is the sharpest lesson they'll ever receive. This is the final strategy to turn silence into a cold wind that sweeps away their regrets. Don't respond when they regret losing you. It's not revenge, but a mountain standing still, letting them see their smallness reflected in the mirror. Imagine you are a deep river. When you flow on, the emptiness left behind isn't your loss, but theirs, of the one who once stood on a bank, indifferent as the water passed by. When someone doesn't value you while you're there, their regret only comes when they feel the cost of your absence. But that's no longer your burden. Silence isn't coldness. It's the way you hand them the key to self-awareness, forcing them to face what they've lost. Epictetus once wrote, "No one is free who does not master themselves." Walking away is your freedom, not to prove a point, but to live true to your values, teaching them that appreciation isn't something that can be delayed. Listen to Patricia's story. She was in a relationship where all her efforts, time, love, and sacrifice were met with indifference from the other person. He assumed she'd always be there, like a light that never fades. But one day, Patricia chose to leave. No accusations, no warnings, just silent steps through the door. At first, he thought it was a game, but as weeks turned to months, he called back, his voice heavy with regret. "I didn't know how much you meant to me until you were gone." But Patricia had moved on. A story in the New York Times. Once told of a wife who left an abusive husband without a word. Her absence forced him to face the true loss, but she never looked back. So, how do you make silence the cold wind that teaches them their final lesson? First, don't open a way back. If they only value you when you're gone, they never truly saw you. Second, don't explain your absence. Like a river that needs no farewell, let them figure it out themselves. And finally, preserve your dignity. Leaving and not looking back is how you live true to your light. When you do this, you not only protect your worth, but also send a silent yet resounding message. I am the treasure you lost, and that's no longer my responsibility. They'll feel it, not through words, but through the void you leave behind. Are you ready for your river to flow on, letting them see themselves in the mirror? When you've let your river flow on, leaving the regretful standing silently on the shore with their small reflection in the mirror, do you realize that this journey isn't just about facing adversaries, but also about leading you to an invincible version of yourself? From the lighthouse, standing firm against provocations, the tree leaving space for the indifferent, to the eternal flame burning bright amid lies, and the unmoving mountain amid the farce. These 7 strategies have woven a shield of stillness, not to protect you from the world, but to help you shine through the storms. This isn't just about making others wary. It's a gentle wind that lifts you, letting karma write the final chapters while you don't even need to hold the pen. Imagine a quiet morning when you wake up no longer pulled by the arrows of words or the nets of manipulation. You walk like a deep river, needing no roar to prove your strength, yet everyone feels your flow. Stoic philosophy doesn't promise a world without storms, but it gives you wings to fly through them and feet to stand firm amid them. Each strategy is a gem, from calmness in the face of provocation, withdrawal when undervalued, to patience for the truth to reveal itself. All lead you to one truth. True strength doesn't lie in the noise outside, but in the peace you cultivate within. And when you live this path, you don't just transform yourself, but also Ignite a flame of inspiration for those around you, helping them find their light. Think about this. If today you pick one gem, maybe staying silent in the face of mockery, or quietly walking away from someone who doesn't value you, what might change in your life? James, William, Michael, Linda, Mary, John, Patricia, each found strength in stillness, turning blades into launch pads. And now it's your turn. This isn't the end, but the beginning of an invincible journey where you master your mind, not with shouts, but with a quiet presence that's impossible to ignore. Take a small step today. Don't react, don't explain, and feel the wind of freedom. If this journey resonates with you, leave a mark, a like, a thank you in the comments, and subscribe so we can keep walking together. The power doesn't lie in me telling this story, but in how you live it. You're not alone. We're weaving this armor of stillness together, day by day, moment by moment. So, where will you start? Take your flame, let it burn bright amid the darkness, and let karma guide the way. Thank you for joining me. It's your time to shine in your way.